The Manny, Roy, and Loren Morning Show, War of the Roses.
We had a crazy War of the Roses between Jodie and Steve, and Steve was going away on these secret business trips. Mm-hmm. Well, Jodie found out that he was cheating on her with a woman named Sophie.
Yeah. And we caught when they were coming back to Charlotte that he was on a layover, and so we called him while he was on the layover. And here's a little clip about that confrontation that happened.
Can you put Sophie on the phone? Does she know? Does she know about me? Can you put her on the phone? Sophie? Sophie? Can you put her on the phone so that she knows what a...
I'm going to stop it there. Because she said some bad words after that.
But Sophie happened to be with Steve at the time that we called him.
Yep. And they ended up flying back. And, of course, Jodie went to then go and figure out what's happening. Now, this is a War of the Roses follow-up. We don't do these often, but since Steve hung up in the middle of us trying to do a War of the Roses, we needed closure. So we're going to go ahead and air this now. You're going to hear Manny. He's not in the studio. He's actually sick today. This is what we recorded earlier, but here's a War of the Roses follow-up. All right, we got Jodie back on. You had a War of the Roses between you and your boyfriend, Steve. He was in Pheonix, and you were supposed to pick him up when he landed in Charlotte, but he was very adamant about not doing that. When we called him on War of the Roses to offer him the romantic package, he sent it to someone who he was currently with in Pheonix.
Sophie, right?
Sophie, I believe it was. In which you then confronted, and he then got scared and hung up. And because he hung up, we didn't know what happened. And where are things now? Are you at one point said, am I the side piece? Is that his actual woman? Like, what is going on as we're talking to you today, Jodie? What happened?
I mean, the bottom line is that Steve is just a sack of turds covered in maple syrup on top of turds. He's just scum.
Okay.
So after he cowardly hung up on me, I power texted him exactly 3 hours later. I was tracking his flight because I deserve closure, and I went to his apartment. He wouldn't let me in. I kept texting him. I rang his doorbell. I did not make a scene, but I...
That's what you think.
Yeah.
It almost got to that point. He let me in. She was not there. She had gone straight to the office, so he said, who knows, because he's a liar. But he's a liar who knows how to cover his tracks. And he told me that he's in love with her, that he's not in love with me, and that he really needs to be with her right now. And here's the really twisted part. He met us exactly 5 days apart.
So you guys were both going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like he met you, went to LA on a business trip, met her out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you guys ever define the relationship? Just out of curiosity?
Are you exclusive?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Insta now. And
yeah.
That's him. That's him and you at OMB.
Mm-hmm.
Top Golf.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder what his page would look like. You think it's her? I mean, clearly.
I don't.
Well, and this is maybe a red flag. He doesn't like to post relationship-y photos.
Yeah, he's private. I can't get on his.
Professional.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for the update, Jodie. What a crazy War of the Roses. One that included a trip across the country and a phone call to an airport in Pheonix. We're glad you know now.
If you're listening, get out, Sophie. I never got to tell her that he's trash.
Oh,
I'm sorry, that's uncalled for.
All right, Jodie. No, you got it. Thanks. I'm glad we can help you out.
And she brought up a good point. She hasn't got a chance for Sophie. I really wonder, do you think Sophie is in on all this? Do you think she's a bystander?
I don't know. I kind of his reaction and hanging up so quickly when she was like, "Sophie, is Sophie there? Let me talk to Sophie." Him hanging up makes me think that she's not in on it, that she doesn't know.
Yeah, I know. We almost need to somehow. I wish we could somehow do a bit where we could tell the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I bet there's so many times we bust these cheaters. Meanwhile, he's probably breaking some other woman's heart and getting off, you know what I mean? And no one ever knows the truth.
Scot-free.
Scot-free. I don't even know if it's possible to do that. But that was a very interesting War of the Roses that, whenever they hang up on us like that, we're going to try to get some more answers and get them back on the phone and figure out what's